Hello everyone, and welcome to another update video. It's been like over a month at this point. Pretty much, I think it's very close to being a month since this desktop computer completely went itself. So, yeah. Obviously, things aren't as going as great. I mean, if you've been on Discord, you've already known a lot of the updates to what's been going on. Pretty much, when it comes to content, just giving out things, or I'm probably just gonna slap random ass videos every so often because I can't properly do things to an extent. I say that, but I'll kind of get into it in here where I can do some things, but not everything to the extent of I was able to do. So pretty much, computer-wise, it'll probably be a couple more months, maybe over a year, just to get a new computer. That's just how things are right now. Don't know how things are gonna go. Worst case scenario, if it... Let's actually say that for the end. Let's say that for the end. But I have some ideas to bring up. But when it comes to computer-wise, my grandfather, he didn't have to do this, but he just decided, like, hey, I'll just buy you a laptop computer. Which, in the grand scheme of things, is, like, cool. I mean, he didn't have to do it. But I'm going to say this right now, obviously, since I haven't streamed, it's nowhere near powerful enough to handle a live stream. I feel like it's in the same boat as, like, my very early 2017 attempts at live streaming or videos that wasn't through the phone. And I'm just going to say this right now, I'm not going to stream on that laptop. It's nowhere near powerful enough. I can play games, but it's not good enough to stream and play whatever game to an extent without having a lot of hiccups and being throttled. So, which is how things are right now with that. The only thing I could really do would be anything on the YouTube side of things. I could try to render videos, but I feel like that's gonna just be even a worse scenario. I mean, the last computer I had that I was rendering videos up to a certain point was struggling to begin with, so a laptop that can't even stream or play video games at the same time is going to fare even worse in that regard. So I am not going to worry about editing videos because that's just something that's off the table also. Regardless, on that, I could still do stuff with it. I mean, it's just one of those things that's more of a casual laptop computer that's not, like, really meant to do hard technology work. And it's just the way that things are. Again, like, my grandfather didn't have to. It just means that I'm still going to have to save up money to get a new desktop. Which, in that regard, has not gone so well. And here comes to the point I was mentioning earlier, is that there are ways we can go about this. Like, you guys can either wait, years maybe, worst case scenario, years, or I do something like Gofundme or whatever in that regard. You probably get what I'm getting at. Which is not something that is my first thought process into this, because I don't really want to, have it rely on that sort of thing, especially with the size of the channel. Worst case scenario, if you guys are somehow interested, I probably would. The price range, if I did such a thing, would probably be about $2,000. I mean, again, who the fuck says computers are cheap? I mean, they're not really, compared to consoles and like that. And that last computer that broke down was around the $2,000 range. The computers nowadays, and I'm looking at that in the same range, that it's not just randomly look up online. I can get something that's 2 to 3 times better that's around the same range point. It's just getting to that point is not obviously easy. And I was doing good, but kind of an update to the last video. I know I said that I got my hours back. I'll kind of briefly say this. Before 2024, I was full-time. Before the lame excuse from the eventual fear that corporations have to be held to a standard of the minimum pay range, aka, this goes into a lot more political stuff, but generally, I'm going to say this right now. Minimal pay, let's say, for example, statewide was $9. That's being raised all over the place in different states. And, well, in theory, it sounds good because more people will be able to have more money to do stuff, and everything would just end up being better for everyone. Corporations say, fuck no, we're going to lower everyone's hours. And that is essentially what happened. 2024 was the year that if you were not praised or on a chair of the chosen, let's just say that, fuck you, labor is our excuse. Even though in the last 4 other years, especially during the pandemic, you got 4 hours? Fuck you. You do not get the luxury anymore because we are not wanting to pay your ass more money. Even though I was earning more money being full-time than now, which the minimum wage has gone up a lot. A bit ironic when you think about it. So, yeah, that's the current situation. And you would think that would stay? Nah. No. They're just going to hire more people and then just give everyone less hours. That's how they're going to go about it. And that's kind of what they did. Unless the special ones are completely fine. Every so often they lower hours, but no, they're going to send that back up. It's just one of those situations where not a lot of people realize that raising the minimum wage does not exactly mean people are going to get more money. It's just not how it works. Because corporations, you're going to have to pretty much twist their arm into making that people get hours. Which that, in of itself, is probably a very big gray area. And I don't know how people would probably go all over the place with that. And for a lot of reasons, you know. But with that being the issue, and how things went, let's just say that obviously getting the amount of money I needed without having pretty much the entirety of your money going to bills compared to what it was in the past, that wasn't the case. Yeah, trying to save up to $2,000 is pretty much almost an impossibility, especially when corporations say fuck you at the amount of hours you get. So in this scenario, obviously I am to an extent looking for a new job, but at the same time these jobs aren't hiring, even though they allow the process to hire. So it's just, there's a lot of stupidity when it comes to the, not just the economy side of things, but to the job side of things of just getting a job or getting the hours and all that stuff. It just, let's be brutally honest, that's why it might take a couple of years, depending upon how things go. It really comes down to getting a new job, which trust me. If you see me in 2019 trying to get a job, it was way worse back then. And I would say it's probably even worse nowadays if you don't have connections. Let's just say that. Yeah, connections. Anyway, I know, I just spilled and I ranted, but I think that needs to be clear of why the hell the things have been the way they are in the last couple of years. Especially on the channel, because, for a gacha game player, you would think that with how much I spent really earlier on, that it would still be the same nowadays, is far from the truth. I could bet you a lot of gacha game players are spending a lot less than they were, on multiple reasons. So yeah, it's like it's obvious that when it comes to stuff like this, like as like just in general, if you were paying attention, you realize that I'm not really just forking money over with these. So with that in mind, yeah, it's gonna probably, worst case scenario, be a couple years before I come back to streaming. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how things are going to go in the future. With everything going all over the place, and with Trump's ideas and all that stuff, who knows how things are going to go. Anyway. Aside from that, I think that's really all that's to know. Like, I do have a way to, I guess, do some things like thumbnails, but that's just kind of it. Last thing I can really say is that, yeah, I can still do videos. It's just not going to be as high as quality. I mean, I ranted so much here, but I think that's the best way to explain it. At this point, I'm also just kind of dealing with my anxiety as well, which hasn't been the greatest, but I've been dealing with it a lot better. And for those that are wondering, I know this is something that I've talked about from time to time, the anxiety part, and there's even some videos where I had to calm myself down. And I guess a note to that as well, because I might as well at this point, I've talked about a lot of shit already. Oh shit. I will be planning on since I'm in the near future, having to also go to the doctors for that. Which, I mean, granted, I could tell the story about my anxiety for like a long time, because this has been a thing for like 5+ years at this point. So this isn't something like completely new. And if you, again, were to do a deep look into the history of the channel, you'd probably realize that there's some spots where there's nothing that happened at all. You could probably start to pull the pieces together with that sort of thing. Anyway, I think that's really all there is to note or to update or to say anything. At this point, I'm just going to talk and talk and talk without really anything else beneficial to note. So I would get for Arknights related. I mean, I know I already talked about phones, but I can still like video record and I can still post it on YouTube. Just don't expect anything fancy. Okay, that's all I could really say. I could have done that for the small event that we had here, but I just didn't really give a fuck. I still did it, but I'm just not as interested, and I don't know. I don't know. I'll think about some things and I'll go from there if I will record certain things or not. But as always, I will let you guys know on Discord, as I have been doing, of what I will eventually do. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up now. And let me know what you guys think about a GoFundMe or something along the lines of that. If you guys really want to see me back streaming. But until then, I'll see you guys all later. Peace.